This reply, boys, goes back to Jimmy Cash's WhatsApp that he'd done. Jimmy, I swear my little boy's life, I always knew you were half backward, but now I do really believe you are fully backward, because you're the biggest gomy of a man I've ever seen. Jimmy, this is a joke. Are you for real, Jimmy, that you're coming back on here now again, asking for more fight? I'm not about kicking fees and every other thing. So, Jimmy, it's common sense, Jimmy, that is getting me kicking fee back when you wouldn't fight. Sure, I begged you to fight, Jimmy, and you wouldn't fight. Really, I should have took your kicking fee as well, but I wouldn't take a few pound off you. I thought you might need it. Listen, Jimmy, I begged you to fight face to face. You're on about standing up to marks on your WhatsApp. You stepped up to the mark, you stepped up to the mark. Why didn't you step up to the mark, Jimmy, when me and you come face to face? Any muppet, Jimmy, can talk on a phone or a WhatsApp. And any fool can pull what you pulled out. Listen, Jimmy, get it straight. When you come face to face with me, Jimmy, in front of 100 men, when I went there, Jimmy, like a proper man on the day, I said I'd shake hands and forget about it, or if not, I said, we'll have a fair fight now. I said, and Paul can show the two of us a fair go and shake hands and go coursing. Why didn't you do what I said that we do, Jimmy? Why didn't you be a proper man? Instead of standing there with a pair of rubber gloves in you and saying to me, I have it here for you. And pulling yokes out of the car, Jimmy. And when the yokes was pointing at me, Jimmy, I showed Jimmy two fists. I said, Jimmy, they're my fucking guns. Get your top off, I said, and get in there, I said, and have a fight like a man. And you wouldn't do it, would you, Jimmy? Because you're a yellow coward. That's why, Jimmy. Now listen, Jimmy, about this kicking fee and that kicking fee. There was no fight, Jimmy, when you wouldn't fight. I never refused to fight in my life off no man, Jimmy. Get that straight. But now listen, Jimmy. I'll give you everything your own way in the beginning, Jimmy, and you fucked it up by pulling weapons out. To be the coward that you are. Now, Jimmy, I will give you a fair fight, Jimmy. You're the one who brought the trouble to a different level. But if you want to bring it back down to a fair fight, Jimmy, no problem. Right? Now, I'll fight you in a fair fight, Jimmy. The rules is my rules, Jimmy. We have an open fight. Your father and my father chose fair play. The whole country can come along and watch the fight, Jimmy. I want 3 weeks' notice from you. That's all I want. Ring me, Jimmy, when you're 3 weeks away from being ready. And put the fight on for 3 weeks. Now, Jimmy, about money. Put as much money, Jimmy, as you want to put together. 1 week before we fight, Jimmy, I will cover it and we'll give the money to a strange man. Put as much money as you want, Jimmy, the whole lot of you. Put as much as you want in the kitty. And I'll cover it. And I'll fight you for it, Jimmy. Right? Because I swear, Jimmy, on my little boy's life, you won't last me 5 minutes. Because you're not worth 2 pence, Jimmy. Because a real man is a real man, Jimmy, and you're not a real man. Because if the best man in the world asked me to fight, Jimmy, I would fight there and then on the spot. Because I'm like that, Jimmy. Do you understand? I don't fear nobody or I don't fear nothing. Get that straight. Right? Now listen. I never did say I was the best man in the world. I never would. And if I did think I was, I still wouldn't say I was. But let me just tell you something, Jimmy. If the best man in the whole world asks me to fight, my top comes off there and then. And I'll fight on the spot. Get that straight. So that proves, Jimmy, the sort of man you are. In front of 100 men, you proved yourself a shitbag. A shithouse. That's what you are. Right? You were asked to fight face to face, Jimmy. You had the best of fair play with you. And you had everything you wanted. But you just didn't have the balls. Right? So, when we come face to face, Jimmy, you couldn't step up to the mark then, could you? You had to step down. Do you understand? Like you'll always be doing. Now listen, if you want to fight, Jimmy, that's the rules what I just told you. It's an open fight. You fight where I say. You give me 3 weeks notice, Jimmy, that's all I want. And 1 week before the fight, Jimmy, all bets will be covered. I'll fight you for any money you want, or I'll fight you for nothing, Jimmy. No problem. Now, Jimmy, you're the one who brought them yokes to that place that morning. You're the one, Jimmy, who blew a simple argument out of proportion. You had every option, Jimmy, to shake hands and forget it or have a fair fight and forget it, and you wouldn't do it. So it proves, Jimmy, I'm a better man than you, in every way and any way. I'm a respectabler man than you, Jimmy, and I'm a better fighting man than you, and I'm a real man. You're a shitbag, Jimmy, and you'll always be a shitbag. There was 100 men there, Jimmy, witnessed what went on. So there's no lie in what I'm saying. Now, Jimmy, I leave the whole country be a judge of this for themselves and have their own opinions. But I'm sure, Jimmy, who'll have what opinion about who. Everybody is going to have the opinion that you're a shithouse. That's common sense. Because the man who pulls one of them, Jimmy, he's bet. You're a beat man. You lost. You automatically lose, Jimmy. When you're having a fair fight with a man and you pull one of them things, you lost. End of story. End of story, Jimmy. I was going to say I took your pride, but you had no pride to take, because if you had pride, you would have had a fight. You're a shithouse, Jimmy. Now, Jimmy, get back to me and let me know if you accept them terms or not. If you don't accept them terms, Jimmy, go and fuck yourself, alright? Now listen, it's like this, Jimmy, that's the way it is. Open fight, 3 weeks notice. The week before, Jimmy, we put the money down. Your father, Jimmy, will show you fair play, and my father will show me fair play. And we'll have the whole world watch the fight, Jimmy. Now, Jimmy, let's get it on. Let everybody enjoy their Christmas. People don't want to be listening to me and your WhatsApps all over the Christmas, Jimmy. Listen, everybody enjoy their Christmas, Jimmy. Give me 3 weeks notice and let's get the fight on. No problem, Jimmy. Let's get the show on the road. Any money you want, it's an open fight. Okay? And if you don't like that, Jimmy, go and fuck yourself because you're the weakest link, sausage.